So, Brittany, will you please pick a message from the tea bag?
I would be honored to. Kindness is the light of life.
I love that. How does that message resonate for you?
I've been working with the symbol of light as a lighthouse a lot recently. It came to me and Genevieve actually during one of our plant medicine ceremonies, and how a lot of us growing up, it seemed like we were lost and alone in the darkness, and we had to find our way. And we really, when we did the inner work, we discovered that we had lights inside of us, and we were lighthouses. So then now we're all lighting up and spreading our light and meeting each other and connecting with each other, and through kindness and authenticity and sincere love for each other, that it's just making my life such a better place to be, and the world in general, a better place to be. I'm really
That is
happy.
a very beautiful message. Compassion and kindness definitely knows how to light you up. When you do something for someone else, I feel like you just feel more positive about yourself too, which in turn allows you to give other people that positivity.
Yeah, and creates more light, because when we're just focusing on ourselves, sometimes our brain can play tricks on us, and we could make our vision smaller and think negatively. But when we're focused on serving other people, then it expands our awareness, and we're giving and also receiving.
Exactly. That's beautiful. All right, so I'll pick a message too. Let's see. Your strength is your own belief.
Yeah,
I love that. Sometimes I struggle to see my own strength, and there's been moments recently that have tested my strength and resolve. And it's easy to sometimes feel like you're weaker than what you want to be. But, it's all in your mind, really. It's all about, giving yourself those positive affirmations and believing in your own strength.
Yeah, and it's doing a mental workout. Those affirmations are you're going to the gym for your physical body, but your inner strength, your inner resolve and confidence, you're doing those push-ups.
That's true. I'm going to be doing push-ups in the mirror now from now on. I'm you're strong.
Yes.
But it is true. So I think I really did need this message, because it's been hard recently. I've been going through a whole bunch of transformations, and it's a new step. But I've told everybody so far, it's definitely a good thing. So it's uncertainty, but there's growth in that. So
yeah, that's where we grow, outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then once you strengthen those muscles, nobody could ever take that away from you, because you're doing the inner work yourself.
That's so true, because I have a Leo moon, and I love external validation. And I felt all during high school, I felt like everybody was validating me externally, and then that's when I started to believe in my strength. But then last year, when I was in a relationship, I felt a little invisible within that. So because I depended on external validation and I wasn't getting that anymore, it seemed like my strength dwindled. But in reality, it wasn't there, because I never built it. I let others build it for me. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, totally.
It's true. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Analogy. On today's episode, I'm seated with Brittany, her goddess self. Brittany, how are you today?
I feel great. I'm so glad that I was able to get here early and just do a meditation by the beach and really like center into myself and connect to this nature and this beautiful property that's like so magical and healing and peaceful.
It is. It definitely is my safe space. So I like to bring everyone else so that they can make it their own safe space too.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I saw you by the water and I'm like, I'm gonna give her a moment to just be, because you seemed so calm.
I
was like,
you.
You did?
Yeah. I was like, she's letting me do what I have to do right now.
Right? Really?
Yeah.
That is so funny. Oh my, because I was watching you from above and I'm like, I'll give her moment.
I was like, she knows that it's me. I know if she sees my energy.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh my gosh. So I know Genevieve took me, you know Genevieve, right? You guys did the Red Women's Immersion Tent together. Can you talk a little bit about that? How was it?
Genevieve, over the last year, has become my best friend. I adore her so much. It was her birthday yesterday, and we're going to be celebrating dressing up as fairies tomorrow.
Yes.
I can't
I'm so
wait.
excited.
When I first met her, I was immediately drawn to her and her artwork. She makes these beautiful earth-inspired clay creations and like little mushrooms, and she was just like wearing earthly colors, and I'm like, who is this little fairy person? Like, I have to get to know her. And then I saw her at the next event, and I just went up to her and I was like, we should collaborate, because she is trained in movement medicine, so she hosts ecstatic dances and journey dances, and I'm like beginning to become confident in my body and like my own movement practice, and I have a beautiful space in my home, so I was like, let's do something. And then a month later, I had the intuition of hosting full moon events at my house. So that was last December, and she's been a part of them since then. She hosts ecstatic dance at my full moon events. And then we met our other goddess sister, Ariadne, at an event in February. It was a Valentine's Day event. And the three of us with two other women collaborated on the Red Tent event. So the Red Tent is from a long lineage of women, and back in the day, women used to gather during their menstrual cycle and like support each other in groups and like nurture each other and take care of each other while they were bleeding. So that's where like the color red came from.
Oh,
and that's also like the divine feminine, like roses and Mary Magdalene, like that whole bloodline. So being able to host that space for like 20 women and like all come together for like all different ages and backgrounds. Like we had 70 to like 17, and it was just so magical, and it was a really beautiful way to start the summer. I did a womb healing meditation, and we did a sensorium, which is where you are supported by two other women and you have a blindfold on, and there's scents and food and all kinds of sensory sensations, like with feathers and massage and oils, and it was just like so special and so magical.
It sounds like such a beautiful and loving space. Like everything you're explaining to me, that's the feeling I get, which is amazing, you know. And I had no idea there was like a whole history behind not only the color itself, but everything you guys, you know, kind of did in the event itself.
Yeah,
So
it was very goddess oriented, so we would like pull goddess oracle cards and like channel that energy. And I can't wait to set up the next one. I so want you to be there.
I would love to be there. I would love to like interview everyone and like kind of record it and make a video about it.
Yes.
To kind of get the word out there. You
Totally.
know?
Absolutely.
And make it like a bigger community.
Yeah, because I feel like the connections that we've created like have been just like, I feel like we're weaving a web of like divine sisterhood and support and love and like no competition, no jealousy, just like really like we can all win together and we're stronger together. And
that is so true.
Empowering.
And while growing up, I feel surrounded by a lot of jealousy amongst like the women in my family. So everybody would, make comments or remarks that would look down on others. And growing up, I felt like that was the only way family was supposed to be. But then once I got introduced to the various communities that spirituality has, it kind of has shown me that genuine love is actually possible.
Yeah.
Especially, and it's crazy how I don't really know you, but I feel loved by you, but then I have family that I've lived with for like years, and I don't really feel that connection. And I think that's important because everyone wants to feel loved and validated. And now that we are more open to creating these spaces like the ones that you have hosted, I believe that's worth celebrating.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm a part of a group. It's like a coaching program, I guess, that's spirituality based, and it's working with the divine feminine archetype. So Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Green Tara, like a bunch of deities. And we had our first call the other day, and it was like, what was your intention? And what came to me was that I want to be the embodiment of unconditional love. Mm-hmm. Like, I want whoever's like in my presence to feel that feeling of being unconditionally loved, because like I didn't receive that growing up either. So like, and I always like, I'm highly sensitive, so I just wanted that. So I want to be able to like be that for other people and be that light and be that like that love feeling.
Everyone, yeah.
Someone called me human rose quartz.
No, but you could feel it though. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of love within you, mm-hmm. and it's amazing that you've been able to develop that within yourself, because it's easy to kind of, close yourself off because of everything you've been through. And I want to know, like, was it always easy to embody the amount of love that you give others, or was it difficult to kind of get there?
I think that I just naturally am giving of love. The more difficult part for me was the receiving of love, because I didn't have that. So it wasn't until very recently that I was able to clear out the blockage that I had in the back of my heart. Like, I had created a wall to protect myself when I was a kid, because like the people that I loved kept hurting me over and over, like through either like my family growing up and then one toxic dysfunctional relationship after another. And like I associated love with pain, so of course like little me is going to want to put that armor on. And I've just been doing the work this whole summer to dismantle it, and finally like I had the release, and now it's such a different experience being able to like hug somebody, because I could hug and like give love, but to also hug and like feel receive comfortable and receive it. Oh, it's so special and so like life-changing.
It is. And I feel the same way. I feel like I'm very quick to love others, but it is hard for me to receive as well, especially in relationships, like romantically. It kind of felt like I was pushing away the men that actually wanted to love me because I didn't know how to take that in.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
It is. I was like, I think I gotta go now. I was like, it was nice knowing you, but
yeah, this is too much.
But, I was the same way too. There was moments where I loved a lot and somebody didn't know how to receive that themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same. And it's frustrating on both ends.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So what kind of brought you onto this spiritual journey? Like, how did you open yourself up to this beautiful world?
So it all happened around the same time. I had my spiritual awakening in 2018 after a really traumatic breakup where I thought this person was like my life partner, and then my rug got ripped out from under me and like my world was shattered, and I'm just like looking around lost, and like the whole future that I had envisioned was gone, and I felt so alone and lost and sad and devastated. And I had realized that I was codependent and like living my life for other people, and it was finally like I hit rock bottom and had to figure out what I wanted and what I liked for myself, like who I was, like all of it. Like, and I did this at 28 years old, my Saturn's return. So I had the spiritual awakening, and I was just trying all these different modalities of healing, and I got into working with a shaman. I got into microdosing psilocybin. That was like so helpful because I was depressed, like really depressed. I was having suicidal ideations. Like I was in a really dark place, and like I was like, I have to pull myself out of this hole that I found myself in, because I have 3 kids and like I don't have the luxury of wallowing. Like I gotta keep it moving. So I was just trying all these different modalities, like all different kinds of therapies and body work, and just then that was in February. I had my birthday in April, and then in June 9th, I flew to Vegas. I was staying with my best friend Asher at the time, and I like got off the plane. Some random person picked me up. He took me to a house party. I didn't like think that I would know anybody, and I get out of his car and I see Asher getting out of the taxi, and I'm like, I didn't think you would be here. And then he was like, you want to go on a journey? So then I took acid for the first time, and that was just like so mind-opening for me, and like just took my consciousness to another level. I did such deep grief healing, releasing, crying for hours. I got down to like the root of everything, and I realized that I had manifested all these relationships based off of my wounds, and to be able to like forgive my parents, forgive my ex-partners, forgive myself, most importantly. And I felt like I was reborn again after that. And I realized that I had magical healing powers, and I was able to like heal myself. That was what the journey really was, through all these different healing modalities, was discovering that I'm a healer. And then fast forward to February 2020, I had a trip to book to Peru to do ayahuasca, which is like another healing psychedelic, because I just felt so called to that. And then boom, the world shuts down. I couldn't do that. And I just started practicing doing my healing work on like my friends distantly, and they were seeing amazing results. And my intention for doing the ayahuasca was like, I need to find my life purpose. I need to find my dharma, because at the time I was a traveling poker reporter. So I was like traveling the world, living out of casinos like for like a week of the month every month, and I was still waitressing, and just like my soul was just like slowly just dying. Yeah. So then I realized that I had these gifts, and I'm like practicing on all my friends, my family, and like just getting stronger and stronger in quarantine, like not being able to leave. And then I started my own business as a healer, and I got certified in Reiki, and I've been just like on that trajectory ever since. And now I'm like doing more community events and like healing in that capacity. And I still love my one-on-one sessions, but I also like holding space for like a lot of people, because I like watching people make new friends and interact, and like you don't know who has the exact medicine that you need, like by talking. And like it's just, I love sharing and creating those kind of spaces.
That's amazing. It's so crazy how you went from like waitressing and pokering, but then, you know, this one event really rocked your world, and now you're here. That's beautiful how like life unfolds and stuff. I was listening, and I heard you say that, you know, you kind of manifested these relationships onto yourself, and that was a big lesson I learned last year too, was how the role I played in my own suffering. You know, it's easy to blame others when they hurt you, but it isn't easy to look within and notice that you are essentially the one that allows them into your life. And that was a difficult lesson to learn. You know, I beat myself up for it, and now, you know, I've healed from it and I've learned from it, and I'm learning that it's okay to say no to people sometimes. So
yes, boundaries are so important, and like creating that protection for yourself of like, no, like I love you, but I can love you from here where like
yeah,
you can't hurt
stay
me.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true though. It is. I actually had a session with you, a Reiki session, and it was amazing. Like I felt empowered after I left. I even told you I had like an interview and stuff, and it went amazing. So I want to like take this time and just thank you for, having that space for me. Do you feel like being embarked onto this journey has kind of shaped and evolved your ideas surrounding what love really is?
Definitely. Yeah. Beforehand, my view of love was wearing like these like goggles with cracks and dirt and like, or rose-colored glasses where I would just like put projections like this is the perfect person and not living in reality. Whereas now, there's so many different ways that I could answer this question. I want to also just like honor the platonic loves in my life. Like, so I took a vow of celibacy for the last 40 days and 40 nights.
As you should. I did the same thing last year though, so yes.
And I've been having platonic sleepovers with my friends, and just like how much love that you can receive through friendships, and it doesn't have to be this one romantic partner that's going to meet all your needs, because that feels like so daunting.
Mm-hmm.
And getting my needs met that way, like my oxytocin needs, and just like bonding and loving and like caring about each other. And also, so I released the blockage in my heart, and I also healed. I had a huge wound in my womb and sacral area, which is like where your sexual energy is stored, that I was acting out of that place and choosing partners from that place of like, it was kind of like a hole, like I need this to fill this hole. But now that that's cleared, it's like I can choose a partner from a space of abundance and security. Like I'm taking care of myself, and if somebody wants to come into my life as an addition to my life, like that's beautiful, but I don't need it. And like having that just like mind switch is just so different and so exciting.
It is true. It is. I've been meeting like people with that idea, the abundance mindset, where it's like, I have myself and you're welcome to share in that.
Yeah.
And once you kind of get there, it definitely is a game changer, because I am victim to the rose-colored glasses, and I was looking for someone to save me, whether it was like friendships or relationships. But now I'm okay with knowing that I have to save myself before anybody else saves me. Mm-hmm. So it has changed the way I date, and it has changed the way I look at others in my life, especially my mom. I held a lot of resentment towards her because I felt like I wasn't loved by her. But once you reach that mindset, it kind of reminds you that even though she can provide that for you, you could provide it for yourself.
Yeah.
And it helps to release the resentment.
Totally.
Yeah.
The mother wound is a big one, and healing that and forgiving that, and like understanding that they're just doing the best that they can, and they're loving to the capacity that they can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like our capacity is so great, and like actually we should have compassion for them that they don't get to experience that, and we do.
That's true. Do you ever get like, I'm very emotional.
Oh, Cancer, baby.
Yeah. Do you know I have a stellium in Cancer? So like most of my placements are in Cancer, and I feel like I'm always like emotional. But my question was, before I went on that tangent, my question was, do you ever like wonder or feel sadder or hurt because our parents won't be able to experience that? Because sometimes like I look at my mom and I'm like, I wonder what would have happened if you would actually give yourself the space to be your highest self.
Yeah, I think about that a lot, and I feel like it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
So our body and our spirit are so regenerative, so it might take them like another 10 or 20 years, but like eventually like they can get to that place. And like the best thing that we can do is just keep working on ourselves and keep filling our cup up and like healing, because we're connected to our parents. And so when our side of it is healed, that creates for like the love to reach them and for them to like experience it. Like we don't have to use our words or actions, like it's just felt, like our energy is just felt.
That's true. That is true. Presence is felt, just like. How did you get introduced to cacao? Was it when you went to Peru?
So I didn't end up going to Peru because,
oh yeah, you said that.
Yes, because everything got shut down.
Yeah.
I got introduced to cacao from my friend when I went to host an event with him in London. And the best way that I could describe it is it's like nature's Molly. Like you're just like so loving. Like it's like your heart gets rocked open.
It's true.
And then I ordered the same one that he ordered. And then I started doing it like in my mornings instead of coffee, but it was too much. I was like crying every day. Like my heart was like too open. I'm like, I can't handle this. So I went back, and now I just do it for the full moon events. I make it every month, and I use moon water that I keep outside during the full moon event, and then I bring it in before the sun comes up, and I use that water to make the cacao. So like the energy of the last full moon is in that one, and it's like makes like such high vibration molecules in the water that it's like so amazing.
Oh my gosh. I have to try that. I used to make cacao too in the mornings instead of coffee, but I haven't tried the moon water. So
yeah.
Do you feel what is the difference you feel like when you do the moon water?
It's activated, it's energized, like it tastes different. I don't know how to describe it, just like pure. It's really like the frequency of it is just very high.
I've been interested in like doing mushrooms and maybe taking acid, and I feel like, you know, you were talking about how when you did that you felt like you kind of released and opened that blockage and stuff.
So much, yeah.
So I was wondering, like, how would you walk somebody through it?
So what I did was I was taking microdoses, which comes in a little capsule, and they have like there's cacao in it, there's other kinds of mushrooms, so it's like overall very good for you and like so subtle that you wouldn't even notice it, but it's working to change the neural pathways in your brain to like be more open, and just like life is like a little bit more magical and a little bit more like sparkly.
Yeah.
And let your system like get integrated with that medicine, because it's a consciousness too. Underneath the ground where we sit is mycelium, which is like the network of mushrooms, and it's like basically like the internet of nature underground, and no matter where you go in the world, it's all connected. And it's how the trees speak to each other and like alert each other of danger, and like it's this wise ancient consciousness that we're ingesting, and it helps us to like be better versions of ourselves. And when you take it on the subtle level, you won't really notice effects, but when you take it on the macro level, it lets you it can take you to like so many different places. They call it the golden teacher. So it like shows you what you need to see, and it lets you experience somatically like what you need to feel, so that you can evolve to like the next phase of your life. And like I said before, I was doing all these different therapies and modalities, but like nothing got as deep as the psychedelic trip, which was like to the core, because like it just, you can't lie to yourself on it. So I was just asking questions, and like it would answer, and I'd be like, oh shit, okay.
That is so cute. But yeah, I've been really interested in that, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm holding on to so much that I kind of feel like I want that release, like that heavy release that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm kind of tripped up about is like the bad tripping, you know, because I don't really know how I'll react, and I kind of wanted to be like walked through it. So I don't know if you offer
October 15th, me and Genevieve are hosting a goddess plant medicine ceremony with 4 women, And we have one signed up so far, so there's 3 more spaces.
Yes.
And that would be amazing. Yeah.
I would so
my
sign up for that.
house.
Yeah. Okay, put me on the list.
Yay.
Somebody write it down. No. But yeah, that's amazing. So walk me through the process. Like, what would happen if I'm there? Yeah.
Awesome. So we did one last month, and I intuitively make plates with different size doses, and I invite people to just grab the one that calls to them. If you're experienced and you want to go for it, if it's your first time and you want to ease yourself into it, like wherever you're at is perfect. And then we do a blessing, we drink tea, we get to know each other, and then we eat them with intention. Then we go into the healing room, and I have like these beautiful white rugs set up and fresh flowers and my sound healing bowls. And I have a little playlist that I make for like just gentle movement so you can get into your body. And then I lead us in a guided meditation. And then we put blindfolds on and lay down for like, it could be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours, like however long it feels comfortable laying. And I just like do the sound bowls over you. Genevieve's there. Last time she had her friend come, and she was just like holding her friend in her lap and like letting her friend just like cry and like give Reiki to her. And it's like whatever you need, you're fully supported. I have 4 garbage cans, like like little white ones that match. I have 3 bathrooms in my house.
Gotta keep the aesthetic with the garbage can.
Exactly.
But it sounds like such a beautiful space. So I'm so gonna go.
Yay.
Do you feel like doing the psychedelics with a great intention really differentiates
100%.
the trips?
100%. I used to do it when I was a kid, and like I had bad trips and it was horrible because I didn't feel safe. Like safety is so important. It's set and setting. So your mindset, like going into it, and then you're setting where you're at, and like this is a ceremonial space, so you're just completely supported energetically, physically, like in every way possible. And I have like fresh fruit, and I make dinner, and like it just flows. Like it's very feminine, where like whatever, like one of the women that was there last time, she did like a tapping meditation for us. She's a singer, she was singing for us, like, and just like Genevieve brought oracle cards, so we each drew a card during it, and like everyone's card was just like so perfect. It's just deep medicine. Like even just being around women, and none of us were on our phones for like 10 hours straight, and just like very present with each other. We went outside, we could make a fire, like
oh my god.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It sounds like a whole journey of like being away from distractions.
Yeah, and it's like just focused on like that love. Like the lighthouse vision came to us that day, how like we're all lighthouses. So it's like love and light and healing, and like showing up exactly as you are, like whatever you're going through, whatever emotions come up, like everything is perfect, like, and it's meant to be, and just like having that ultimate trust.
It's amazing. I can't wait to have my moment in the event too and stuff, and get to see what it's really about. So,
and that's like the best way that I feel like a person that's doing it for the first time, like this is like the best birthing process that can be. It's a home birth. It's all natural home birth.
That's so true. Do you have any other advice for anybody else that might be interested in doing psychedelics as a healing tool
I
for
would
themselves?
say to absolutely have a trip sitter, so someone who is like not journeying with you but can like protect you, and that could just be a presence to like anchor you, because like you might not be able to even like receive anything from them, but just knowing that they're there will let you feel more safe, and to make sure that it's going to be in a place where you're not going to be bothered, you're not going to want to like have to check your phone, or just like create a sense of safety for yourself and comfort. And another really important thing is music. So there's a playlist on Spotify from Johns Hopkins Institute of Psychedelic Assisted Therapy. So they researched like and made this amazing playlist. So it's 40 minutes long. I'll just like play that on loop sometimes, like when I'm journeying, or just like, you can research psychedelic sound healings and just make sure that the music doesn't have words, because sometimes like the human element behind the words could like throw you off. So music with no words.
Okay.
Comfort. You want to have blankets. I have everyone bring like their own pillow and blanket, and like the blindfolds really make for a nice journey. And then I set up like lights and stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure, guys, that you follow all these tips so that you have the best trip that you can have.
Yeah.
What was your best trip, would you say?
I also want to touch on integration too. So there's like the prep beforehand. You're going to want to like cleanse your body, like try not to eat meat for a few days before, try not to have sex for a few days before, because that like there's a huge energy exchange there, and you want to just be in your energy. And then also integration. So make sure the next day after you don't have like a big day that you have to do things. Like you're not going to feel hungover, but you're going to want to just like take time to like be with yourself and journal about your experience so that you can like come back into society and also like retain the information and process everything that came up for you. So just like be gentle with yourself for like the next week, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fine. I've had so many different trips. I'm trying to think of the best one. The most recent one I did was I went to Montauk with my partner at the time, and we just like sat on the water and watched the sunset, and that was like so beautiful to see God's canvas and like all the different colors and the animals. That was really magical. I do them once a year for myself on Christmas Eve, like just a solo one. Don't try this at home. I ate a whole mushroom chocolate bar.
Oh my God.
And my intention was to heal my father wound. And around midnight, my dad texted me Merry Christmas, and then I called him.
Wait, this is while you're
While I was tripping. But it's fine because he gave me the mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, listen, I just want to say I forgive you for everything. I'm sorry for everything. And I just want to like go back to how things were. Because like growing up, he was my best friend and we were so close. And then he moved away after my mom and him got divorced, and he like abandoned us for like a decade. And that was really tough for me. And I just wanted to like clear that. And he was like, okay, you just did. And then we talked on the phone for like hours laughing, and like it was really great.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's such good medicine. Like a Christmas miracle.
Is there a reason you always do it on Christmas Eve, or?
It's just like my own ritual. Like I'm not a fan of Christmas. I have a lot of trauma around it. Christmas is my mom's birthday. And
wow.
like just yeah, I'm a Halloween person. I'm not a Christmas person.
I feel the same way surrounding Christmas though, because my parents are also divorced, and it was very chaotic because you know, my dad, he was still in the picture, thankfully. I'm blessed with that, but it was hard because you know, I had to figure out how to balance both. You know, sometimes I would only see mom on this day or only dad on this day, but you know, growing up you wish you could have them together, but so I feel like that's why I have that surrounding Christmas too.
Yeah, same. And like gifting isn't my forte. Like of my love language, gifting is the least. Like
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I know what you mean. What is your love language? Like, how do you express love to others?
My love language to give, I would say, is words of affirmation and touch. Like I'm also very like touchy-feely and affectionate, and like I'll just like give my friends massages. Like I just love that connection. And then to receive, it's quality time by like a million. Like that's what I want, just to like spend
time.
Yeah, and just like talk and like connect, and we don't have to be doing anything. Like this is my love language.
I feel the same way. So for me, I express it by, I guess, quality time. Like when I'm with somebody, I'm presently there. And then receiving, I feel like it's affection too. Well, I give a lot of affection too, so I guess it like balances out. Or
they say that your love languages are what you didn't receive in childhood.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. When I heard that, I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
Because I felt very neglected during childhood. So, like, that's why quality time and, like, attention is so important to me.
Yeah, it's true. For me, you know, I would rarely get hugged. So I guess that's why I love hugging others.
Yes. Same.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, Brittany. But I enjoyed this conversation with you. Thank you so much for driving out here and just spending time with me and talking to me.
It's such a pleasure.
Yeah. Is there any socials you might want to share with us?
My Instagram is Gangster of Love.
Ooh.
LUHV. And then my poetry account on there is Stay Wild Earthchild. And my website where you can find my services and my poetry also is staywildearthchild.com.
I'll make sure to link everything down in the description box below. But until then, see you later. Bye. I love that.